How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Mr. Moore Heating and Cooling True Stories. All right, we back in demand. A lot of people been asking for the videos. I get those inquiries all the time through Facebook or in person. People asking, when the next time you're gonna load these things up. We love listening to them. Definitely my customers. I had a couple of customers that was always watching out for them and listening to them. They thought they was pretty cool. So here we go, back by popular demand. This is another good one, right? And this is a true story. All right, so I run commercials all the time. All the time, I'm running commercials. This is how the business work. When things get slow, I run commercials. So a guy has seen my commercial, whatnot. He calls me up. I get over there. We talk about his HVAC unit. He was like, this HVAC unit that never worked right since I'm been over here. And he said he's been over there for like over 30 years or whatnot. And he said it never worked right. I'm like, okay, cool, cool, cool. So I'm taking a look at it and everything, take my meter out, start doing my tests, trying to figure out what's going on with the AC unit. And I noticed he kept on staring at me. I'm like, okay, okay. And he looked at kind of familiar because he's from the same area I used to stay at, but I don't stay in that area no more. I used to have my own grass cutting business or whatnot, and I used to cut grass on that block and a lot of other blocks or whatnot. And at the time, I just couldn't figure out where I know this guy from, but I know I had seen him before. Could have been at Price Chopper, Family Dollar, could have been anywhere because I lived in that same area where the service call was. So he asked me, he was like, do you know somebody named Sonny? I was like, yeah, I know Sonny. And he was like, Sonny Mayberry? I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. I said, that's my grandpa right there. He was like, yeah, I knew when I seen your commercial, I seen you before. He said, you used to cut grass with Sonny. I was like, yes, I sure did. And we started talking and catching up and everything. I said, Sonny is the one that got me into heating and cooling. He's like, oh man, that's amazing. He was like, he started telling me all these stories about Sonny and everything. And I was telling him about all the stories about Sonny myself. He's not my actual grandpa. He is my ex-wife grandpa. But he took a liking to me, and I worked with him for a while. Cutting grass when I was laid off or whatnot, trying to get back out there and trying to generate some revenue for the family or whatnot, so I can take care of those bills around the house. And we used to go out and cutting grass all the time, me and Sonny, and he was teaching me. No, he didn't. He wasn't teaching me. He was telling me about HVAC and how that'll be a good company to get into, and how I'll be able to take care of my family with HVAC. I'll be better off besides, getting the jobs that I was getting, maybe go to school, get a trade, make more money so you could change your way of living. And that, it stuck with me, you know what I'm saying? And later on in life, it didn't happen right then and there. But later on in life, I end up going to school for HVAC. I had lost my job or whatnot, and I was sitting on the couch, and I seen the Vanarock commercial or whatnot, and that's how I ended up, enrolling and getting in HVAC school because of my grandpa or whatnot. And the more the story is, it's like that thing did a full circle or whatnot. You know, grandpa ain't no longer living or whatnot, but he was able to pass on some knowledge to me so I can take better care of my family at the time or whatnot. And then to run across one of his friends that seen me on TV that knew Sonny, we started sharing all these stories and everything. It was a beautiful conversation that we had or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I wouldn't even be over here if it wasn't for Sonny. And I said, Sonny whole thing is that, you can be cheap, but you can't be too cheap. He's like, you want to be cheaper than the other guys, but you also got to take care of your family at the same time. He was drilling that into me. Once I finally got into the trade, because once I finally got into the trade, me and him used to talk about it all the time. He's like, make sure you ain't too high now. Make sure you ain't too high. He used to always tell me that before I passed away. I mean, before you passed away or whatnot. You know, make sure you ain't too high. Make sure you ain't too low. You know, you can still take care of your family or whatnot, but you don't want to be like them other guys, because those other guys, people will call them for service, but they'll never call them again because the prices are so high you can't afford them. But that was pretty interesting. I ended up replacing his AC unit in his evaporator coil. And when we was working on it or whatnot, I had went down in the basement and we was cutting the evaporator coil out to get the new evaporator coil in. And when we did that, I found a kink in the line. It was a kink restricting the flow of refrigerant. So he was never getting his proper cooling. Whoever installed it or whatnot, many years ago, they put a kink in the line or whatnot. And that's why his AC unit wasn't cooling. And I had to let him know. I said, I found the reason why your AC wasn't cooling. I said, you know, you had a kink in the line or whatnot. A kink is like a bend. On carpet piping, when it comes to your HVAC system, it cannot have any bends. That's a restriction. You will never be able to get the flow of refrigerant going through the pipes or going through the TXV or your piston like it's supposed to. It'll be a restricted flow. You will get the flow, but it'll be restricted. So you will be getting restricted cooling or whatnot. And I got everything replaced. He was extremely happy. He was extremely pleased. He was happy to see me because he knew he noticed me or whatnot from long time ago. And that's just one of those Mr. Moore Heating and Cooling true stories. You know what I'm saying? That's even though Grandpa's gone, you know what I'm saying. But I'm pretty sure he would want me to go over there and fix his friend's AC unit and give him a good price, like he was telling me. You know, be cheaper than them other guys. All right, now that's one of those Mr. Moore Heating and Cooling true stories. And y'all keep watching for more. Thank you for watching.